All suffering, all fear, all pain is actually the fear of death. The fear of death, right? The ego identifies as the body, but the ego did not create itself as the body, and it did not create the body. It did not create this life. It did not create that it dies. It didn't create this temporary existence, but it identifies as it. So therefore, it's going to fear its own death because it's personalizing the body. It's personalizing this experience as itself. So it thinks itself is dying. You think yourself is dying by identifying as that. So then therefore, every single change is seen through the fear of death because that's what death ultimately is. It's the ultimate final change to this experience. And so now we think any changes along the way to death are somehow inciting that fear of death. Because truth is abstract, change is change, death is change. So now we have made synonymous death and change together. So any changes in life, right? They trigger your familiarity and they trigger your comfort zone. That's a death to the nervous system. So now we're in fear of change in general. And so like, let's say, for example, you have an accomplishment you want to have, right? Some kind of productivity or gaining some kind of accolade, and it doesn't happen, right? The fear of failure. Well, the fear of failure is, or the attachment to something and not getting it's kind of the same thing, right? So it's just like in my self-concept, if I accrue this, if I accomplish this makes me this kind of a person. So if you fail at that, you no longer can fulfill yourself in that self-conceptual way. So therefore you think there's a death. That's what it feels like. It's a death to getting what I want. So now we're grieving. So now we're upset. We're in suffering because we think we're dying in some way. Same thing, let's look at like relationships, right? Let's say you're getting divorced at a certain age, you're a single parent at a certain age, or you're just single at a certain age, and that's not the self-concept you want for yourself because we all believe, we tell ourselves we're happy if we're married, we're happy if we're in a relationship. It looks good in society if we're doing all these things, if women are with relationships, right? All of those are self-conceptions. And so by you not fulfilling children by a certain age, married by a certain age, or you're divorced or separated at a certain age, you think that somehow means something about yourself, and it doesn't. But it feels like death because we've assigned conceptions to ourself, our self-identity. And so when those self-concepts are changed, we are going through that grief, which is the fear of death itself. So everything you find upset, right? Even like not getting a certain quality of love or love language from your partner is a death to you feeling loved. Everything is just seen through the death of itself, of ourselves. So this is where we want to practice forgiveness and all of our fears and all of our oppositions and conflicts to reality, because it's all just basically us fearing something is dying, fearing that we're not really in control and get to play God as the ego. And so that's what we want to forgive. So we can enter a state into just acceptance of what is.